Hollywood and fans around the world are now mourning the death of actress and singer Doris Day.
Doris Day was born Doris Marianne Kappelhoff on April 3, 1922, in Cincinnati, Ohio. One of Hollywood's brightest stars of the 1950s and 60s, she charmed audiences with her girl-next-door warmth in beloved films like Pillow Talk, Calamity Jane, and The Man Who Knew Too Much. Beyond acting, Day was a gifted vocalist whose recordings of Que Sera, Sarah, and Secret Love became timeless classics. She was also a fierce and lifelong advocate for animal welfare. She passed away on May 13, 2019, at her home in Carmel Valley, California, at the age of 97, leaving behind a legacy of warmth, talent, and compassion. Bob Barker was born on December 12, 1923, in Darrington, Washington. The beloved host of The Price is Right for 35 years, he became one of the longest-running and most recognized faces in American television history, presiding over more than 6,000 episodes with a charm, warmth, and showmanship that made him a daily fixture in millions of American homes. A passionate animal rights advocate, his famous sign-off, "Help control the pet population, have your pets spayed or neutered," may be the single most effective public service announcement in television history. He died on August 26, 2023, at his home in Hollywood, California, at the age of 99, a beloved institution of American life. Carl Weathers was born on January 14, 1948, in New Orleans, Louisiana. A former professional football player turned actor, he became a cultural phenomenon as Apollo Creed in the Rocky franchise and earned new generations of fans through his role in The Mandalorian. Weathers brought athleticism, magnetism, and undeniable screen presence to every role he inhabited. He passed away on February 1, 2024, at the age of 76, leaving behind a legacy that spanned sports, film, and television. Anne Heche was born on May 25, 1969, in Aurora, Ohio. A bold and fearless actress, she rose to prominence in the 1990s with acclaimed roles in Donnie Brasco and Wag the Dog, captivating audiences with her raw emotional range and on-screen intensity. Off-screen, Heche was known for her resilience in the face of personal adversity. She died on August 11, 2022, at the age of 53, following injuries sustained in a car accident in Los Angeles, mourned as a talent taken far too soon. Leslie Jordan was born on April 29, 1955, in Chattanooga, Tennessee. A pint-sized comedic force with a larger-than-life personality, he won an Emmy for his role on Will and Grace and became a beloved social media star during the pandemic, delighting millions with his warm humor and Southern charm. He also appeared in American Horror Story and Call Me Kat. He died on October 24, 2022, at the age of 67, after suffering a medical emergency while driving in Hollywood, remembered for the enormous joy he brought to everyone around him. Bob Saget was born on May 17, 1956, in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Best known as the warm-hearted Danny Tanner on Full House and the sardonic host of America's funniest home videos, Saget occupied a unique space in American entertainment. Beloved as a family icon and a sharp, boundary-pushing stand-up comedian, he was deeply admired by his peers for his kindness and generosity. He was found unresponsive in his hotel room in Orlando, Florida, on January 9, 2022, at the age of 65, leaving behind a community heartbroken by his sudden loss. Olivia Newton-John was born on September 26, 1948, in Cambridge, England, and grew up to become an icon of American pop culture. Her role as Sandy in Grease made her a global superstar, and her music career produced beloved hits like Physical and I Honestly Love You, earning her 4 Grammy Awards. Newton-John was also a passionate breast cancer advocate following her own diagnosis. She passed away on August 8, 2022, at her ranch in Southern California, at the age of 73, remembered for her radiant spirit and enduring artistry. Ed Asner was born on November 15, 1929, in Kansas City, Missouri. One of television's most decorated actors, he won 7 Emmy Awards, more than any other male performer in history, for his beloved portrayal of Lou Grant across both The Mary Tyler Moore Show and the dramatic spin-off Lou Grant. Asner was also a passionate activist and longtime president of the Screen Actors Guild. He died on August 29, 2021 at the age of 91, remembered as a giant of American television and a man of deep conviction. William Hurt was born on March 20, 1950 in Washington, D.C. A classically trained actor of remarkable depth and intelligence, he won the Academy Award for Best Actor for Kiss of the Spider-Woman and earned nominations for Broadcast News and Children of a Lesser God in consecutive years, a feat matched by very few. Hurt later brought gravitas to the Marvel Cinematic Universe as Thaddeus Ross. He passed away on March 13, 2022, at the age of 71 after a battle with prostate cancer, remembered as one of the finest screen actors of his generation. Pelé was born Edson Arantes do Nascimento on October 23, 1940, in Três Corações, Brazil. Widely regarded as the greatest footballer who ever lived, he became the only player in history to win 3 FIFA World Cup titles, leading Brazil to glory in 1958, 1962, and 1970. His otherworldly skill, speed, and vision made him a global superstar, and his fame was so extraordinary that warring factions in Nigeria declared a ceasefire in 1967 simply to watch him play. He passed away on December 29, 2022, in São Paulo, Brazil, at the age of 82, from multiple organ failure following a long battle with colon cancer, mourned by the entire planet as the king of the beautiful game. Norman Lear was born on July 27, 1922, in New Haven, Connecticut. One of the most influential figures in the history of American television, he revolutionized the medium with socially conscious sitcoms like All in the Family, The Jeffersons, Good Times, and Maude, shows that tackled race, class, gender, and politics with a daring candor previously unimaginable in prime time. Lear was also a passionate advocate for democracy and the First Amendment throughout his life. He died on December 5, 2023, at his home in Los Angeles, at the age of 101, mourned as a visionary who used laughter to illuminate America's most pressing truths. Andre Braugher was born on July 1, 1962, in Chicago, Illinois. A Juilliard-trained actor of extraordinary range and power, he won 2 Emmy Awards. First for his fierce portrayal of Detective Frank Pembleton on Homicide, Life on the Street, and again for the acclaimed series Thief, before earning new legions of fans as the stoic and beloved Captain Raymond Holt on Brooklyn Nine-Nine. He died on December 11, 2023, at the age of 61, after a brief illness, mourned by colleagues and fans as one of the greatest television actors of his generation. Louis Gossett Jr. was born on May 27, 1936, in Brooklyn, New York. A towering figure in American film and television, he became the first black man to win the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor for his unforgettable portrayal of a demanding drill sergeant in An Officer and a Gentleman, and earlier earned an Emmy for the landmark miniseries Roots. Gossett remained active well into his 80s, most recently appearing in the Color Purple musical film. He passed away on March 29, 2024, in Santa Monica, California, at the age of 87, remembered as a true pioneer and a performer of immense power and grace. Chita Rivera was born Dolores Conchita Figueroa del Rivero on January 23, 1933, in Washington, D.C. One of Broadway's greatest triple threats, dancer, singer, and actress, she originated iconic roles including Anita in West Side Story, Velma Kelly in Chicago, and Rosie in Bye Bye Birdie, earning 3 Tony Awards and a Presidential Medal of Freedom. She was the first Latina artist to be honored with the Kennedy Center Honors. Rivera died on January 30, 2024, in New York City, at the age of 91, following a brief illness, celebrated as an irreplaceable legend of the American stage. Ryan O'Neal was born on April 20, 1941, in Los Angeles, California. A heartthrob who bridged television and film with ease, he earned an Academy Award nomination for his role in the romantic blockbuster Love Story, and charmed audiences opposite his young daughter Tatum in Paper Moon. O'Neal's boyish good looks and natural charisma made him one of Hollywood's most compelling leading men of the 1970s. He passed away peacefully on December 8, 2023, in Santa Monica, California, at the age of 82 from congestive heart failure, leaving behind a rich legacy of film and a devoted family. Kris Kristofferson was born on June 22, 1936 in Brownsville, Texas. A Rhodes Scholar turned Army Ranger turned country music legend, he was one of the most gifted songwriters America ever produced, penning immortal songs like Me and Bobby McGee, Help Me Make It Through the Night, and Sunday Mornin' Comin' Down. His rugged charisma also made him a natural film star, most memorably opposite Barbra Streisand in A Star Is Born. He died peacefully on September 28, 2024, at his home in Maui, Hawaii, at the age of 88, remembered as a poet, a rebel, and a singular American original. Quincy Jones was born on March 14, 1933, in Chicago, Illinois. Over a career spanning more than 7 decades, he became one of the most prolific and influential musical forces in history, producing Michael Jackson's Thriller, the best-selling album of all time, and collaborating with everyone from Frank Sinatra to Ray Charles, while winning 28 Grammy Awards along the way. Jones was equally celebrated as a composer, arranger, conductor, and humanitarian. He died on November 3, 2024, at his home in Los Angeles, at the age of 91, leaving a musical legacy that will endure for generations. Donald Sutherland was born on July 17, 1935, in St. John, New Brunswick, Canada. Becoming one of Hollywood's most prolific and respected character actors, he starred in some of cinema's most defining works, including M.A.S.H., Klute, Ordinary People, and The Hunger Games. Sutherland's wry intelligence and distinctive presence graced nearly 200 films and series over 6 decades. He died on June 20, 2024, in Miami, Florida, at the age of 88 after a long illness, remembered as one of the most gifted and versatile actors of his era. Bob Newhart was born on September 5, 1929, in Oak Park, Illinois. A deadpan comedic genius who launched his career with the groundbreaking stand-up album The Button-Down Mind of Bob Newhart, the first comedy album to win a Grammy for Album of the Year, he went on to become a beloved television institution, starring in 2 landmark sitcoms, The Bob Newhart Show and Newhart. His gentle, understated wit made him one of America's most enduring entertainers. He died on July 18, 2024, in Los Angeles, California, at the age of 94, leaving behind a legacy built on wit, warmth, and impeccable timing. Shelley Duvall was born on July 7, 1949, in Fort Worth, Texas. An unconventional and utterly captivating presence, she became a celebrated muse of director Robert Altman in films like Thieves Like Us and 3 Women, and delivered one of horror cinema's most memorable performances as the terrified Wendy Torrance in Stanley Kubrick's The Shining. Film critic Pauline Kael once called her the female Buster Keaton. She died on July 11, 2024, in Blanco, Texas, at the age of 75 from complications of diabetes, remembered as a one-of-a-kind talent who left an indelible mark on American cinema. Lisa Marie Presley was born on February 1, 1968, in Memphis, Tennessee. The only child of rock and roll legend Elvis Presley, she forged her own path as a singer-songwriter, releasing 3 studio albums and exploring themes of love, loss, and identity with raw honesty. As heir to her father's extraordinary estate and legacy, she was also a devoted steward of the Graceland Museum and the memory of one of America's greatest icons. She passed away on January 12, 2023, in Los Angeles, California, at the age of 54, following cardiac arrest, leaving behind her children and a legacy intertwined with American music royalty. Rosalind Carter was born Eleanor Rosalind Smith on August 18, 1927, in Plains, Georgia. As First Lady of the United States from 1977 to 1981, she was among the most active and engaged presidential partners in American history, championing mental health reform, the Equal Rights Amendment, and the rights of caregivers with a fierce and tireless dedication. Alongside her husband Jimmy, she continued decades of humanitarian work with Habitat for Humanity and global health initiatives long after leaving the White House. She passed away on November 19, 2023, at her home in Plains, Georgia, at the age of 96, remembered as a woman of extraordinary compassion, strength, and moral seriousness. Harry Belafonte was born on March 1, 1927, in New York City, New York. A groundbreaking singer, actor, and activist, he became the first artist to sell over 1 million albums with his landmark Calypso record and captivated the world with his charismatic performances in films like Carmen Jones and Island in the Sun. Off stage, Belafonte was a towering civil rights figure who marched alongside Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and used his platform fearlessly in the pursuit of justice and equality. He passed away on April 25, 2023, at his home in New York City at the age of 96, remembered as one of the most complete artist activists in American history. Richard Roundtree was born on July 9, 1942, in New Rochelle, New York. Known as the original Shaft, his 1971 portrayal of the cool, fearless private detective in the landmark blaxploitation film became one of cinema's most iconic performances and a defining moment in the representation of black heroes on screen. Roundtree's magnetic swagger made him a cultural trailblazer, and he continued to work steadily in film and television for more than 5 decades. He passed away on October 24, 2023 in Los Angeles at the age of 81 from pancreatic cancer, leaving behind a legacy that transformed American cinema. Tom Hanks's friend and frequent collaborator Gene Wilder was born Jerome Silberman on June 11, 1933 in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. One of the most gifted comedic actors of the 20th century, he enchanted generations with his wild-eyed brilliance in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, Young Frankenstein, and Blazing Saddles. Wilder's genius lay in his ability to be simultaneously absurd and deeply vulnerable, creating characters audiences fell in love with instantly. He passed away on August 29, 2016, at his home in Stamford, Connecticut at the age of 83, from complications of Alzheimer's disease, remembered as a singular comedic treasure. Nichelle Nichols was born on December 28, 1932 in Robbins, Illinois. As Lieutenant Uhura on Star Trek, she broke barriers on American television, becoming one of the first black women in a prominent, non-subservient role on a major network series. Her portrayal was so significant that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. himself personally urged her not to leave the show. Nichols later partnered with NASA to help recruit minority and female astronauts. She passed away on July 30, 2022, at the age of 89 in Silver City, New Mexico, from heart failure, leaving a legacy that stretched from the sound stages of Hollywood all the way to the stars. Ivan Reitman was born on October 27, 1946, in Komarno, Czechoslovakia, and grew up to become one of Hollywood's most beloved comedy directors and producers. The creative force behind Ghostbusters, Stripes, and Kindergarten Cop, Reitman shaped the blockbuster comedy genre and launched some of cinema's most beloved franchises. His warmth and generous spirit were as legendary as his box office hits. He died peacefully in his sleep on February 12, 2022, at his home in Montecito, California, at the age of 75, mourned by the entire comedy world. Terry Garr was born on December 11, 1944, in Lakewood, Ohio. A luminous and warmly funny actress, she earned an Academy Award nomination for Best Supporting Actress for her delightfully exasperated performance in Tootsie, and brought irresistible comic energy to films like Young Frankenstein, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, and Mr. Mom. Garr was also admired for her courage and candor in speaking publicly about her battle with multiple sclerosis. She died on October 29, 2024 in Los Angeles, California, at the age of 79, remembered for a career full of wit, heart, and unforgettable performances. Gena Rowlands was born on June 19, 1930, in Cambria, Wisconsin. One of the most respected dramatic actresses in American film history, she delivered indelible performances in her husband John Cassavetes' groundbreaking independent films, including A Woman Under the Influence and Gloria, both earning her Academy Award nominations. Rowlands was celebrated for her fearless emotional commitment and natural, unguarded performances. She passed away on August 14, 2024, at her home in Indian Wells, California, at the age of 94, leaving behind an unmatched legacy of raw and honest cinema. Richard Lewis was born on June 29, 1947, in Brooklyn, New York. A pioneering stand-up comedian known for his neurotic, self-deprecating style and black attire, Lewis brought a deeply confessional intensity to comedy that influenced a generation of performers. He was also beloved by television audiences for his long-running role on the HBO series Curb Your Enthusiasm, alongside his close friend Larry David. Lewis died on February 27, 2024, at his home in Los Angeles, at the age of 76 following a heart attack. Toby Keith was born on July 8, 1961, in Clinton, Oklahoma. One of country music's biggest stars, he dominated the charts and airwaves for more than 2 decades with anthems like "Shoulda Been a Cowboy," "How Do You Like Me Now," and "Courtesy of the Red, White, and Blue." Keith was unapologetically proud of his Oklahoma roots and his patriotic spirit, and built a remarkable career as both a recording artist and performer. He died on February 5, 2024, at his home in Moore, Oklahoma, at the age of 62, following a battle with stomach cancer, remembered as one of country music's most powerful voices. Jerry Springer was born on February 13, 1944, in London, England, and grew up to become one of American television's most recognizable and polarizing personalities. Before becoming the ringmaster of the notorious Jerry Springer Show, he had a distinguished career as a politician and news anchor in Cincinnati, even serving as mayor. His talk show, which ran for 27 seasons, became one of the highest-rated programs in television history. He passed away on April 27, 2023, at his home in suburban Chicago, Illinois, at the age of 79 from pancreatic cancer, leaving behind a media legacy unlike any other. Pat Robertson was born on March 22, 1930 in Lexington, Virginia. A televangelist and media mogul who founded the Christian Broadcasting Network and co-founded the Family Channel, he was one of the most influential religious and political voices in American life for half a century. Robertson ran for the Republican presidential nomination in 1988 and helped shape the modern Christian conservative movement. He died on June 8, 2023, at his home in Virginia Beach, Virginia, at the age of 93. Leaving behind a complex legacy that touched millions of lives across faith and politics. Burt Bacharach was born on May 12, 1928, in Kansas City, Missouri. One of the greatest pop songwriters of the 20th century, he crafted timeless classics including "Walk On By," "What the World Needs Now Is Love," "Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head," and dozens more, earning multiple Academy Awards and Grammy Awards. His lush, sophisticated compositions and innovative arrangements changed the sound of American popular music. He died on February 8, 2023, at his home in Los Angeles, California, at the age of 94, leaving behind a catalog of songs that will never grow old. Alan Arkin was born on March 26, 1934, in Brooklyn, New York. An actor of extraordinary intelligence and range, he earned Academy Award nominations across 5 decades of work, winning the Oscar for Best Supporting Actor for his hilarious and heartbreaking turn in Little Miss Sunshine. From his breakthrough in The Russians Are Coming to his iconic role in Argo, Arkin consistently elevated every film he touched. He died on June 29, 2023, at his home in San Marcos, California, at the age of 89, mourned as one of Hollywood's finest craftsmen. Number 36. Dick Van Patten was born on December 9, 1928, in Kew Gardens, Queens, New York. A beloved television actor best known as the warm and gentle patriarch Tom Bradford on the long-running family series 8 is Enough, Van Patten had a career spanning more than 7 decades, from childhood roles on Broadway to countless film and television appearances. He was also a passionate advocate for animal rescue. He passed away on June 23, 2015, at the age of 86 in Santa Monica, California, from complications of diabetes, remembered by fans as TV's ultimate good-natured father figure. Ned Beatty was born on July 6, 1937, in Louisville, Kentucky. One of America's most versatile and respected character actors, he delivered powerful performances in films like Deliverance, Nashville, Network, and Superman, earning an Oscar nomination for Best Supporting Actor in Network for one of cinema's most electrifying monologues. Beatty's remarkable ability to disappear into any role made him one of Hollywood's most in-demand performers. He died on June 13, 2021, at his home in Los Angeles at the age of 83, from natural causes, remembered as a consummate actor's actor. Cloris Leachman was born on April 30th, 1926, in Des Moines, Iowa. An actress of astonishing range and 8 Emmy Awards, more than any other performer in television history, she won the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress for her devastating performance in The Last Picture Show, and later showed her brilliant comedic gifts in Young Frankenstein and Raising Hope. Leachman's fearlessness and longevity made her one of Hollywood's most treasured figures. She passed away on January 27, 2021, at her home in Encinitas, California, at the age of 94, leaving behind a legacy of unmatched versatility. Anne Bancroft was born Anna Maria Luisa Italiano on September 17, 1931, in the Bronx, New York. One of the most gifted actresses of her era, she won the Academy Award for Best Actress for her extraordinary portrayal of Annie Sullivan in The Miracle Worker, and achieved pop cultural immortality as the seductive Mrs. Robinson in The Graduate. Bancroft's fierce intelligence and emotional ferocity made her a force unlike any other. She passed away on June 6, 2005, in New York City at the age of 73 from uterine cancer, remembered as one of the most commanding presences in the history of American performance. James Caan was born on March 26, 1940, in the Bronx, New York. A powerhouse of natural charisma and physicality, he earned an Academy Award nomination for his iconic portrayal of the volatile Sonny Corleone in The Godfather, a performance so visceral and memorable, it became one of cinema's most quoted and studied roles. Caan also brought warmth and humor to beloved films like Elf in his later years. He died on July 6, 2022, at the age of 82 from coronary artery disease, remembered as one of the most magnetic and authentically masculine stars that Hollywood ever produced. Robbie Coltrane was born Anthony Robert Macmillan on March 30, 1950, in Rutherglen, Scotland. A towering talent in both physical and emotional stature, he became beloved by generations of fans worldwide for his portrayal of the gentle giant Rubeus Hagrid across all 8 Harry Potter films. Before Potter, Coltrane was celebrated as a fearless character actor in films and acclaimed British television series like Cracker. He died on October 14, 2022, at the age of 72, in Larbert, Scotland, from multiple organ failure, mourned by millions who grew up with him as their favorite half-giant. Barbara Ehrenreich was born on August 26, 1941, in Butte, Montana. A brilliant, fearless, and wickedly funny writer and social critic, she exposed the brutal economics of low-wage American life in her landmark work, Nickel and Dimed. Going undercover as a waitress, hotel maid, and Walmart associate, and went on to write more than 20 books challenging conventional thinking about class, healthcare, religion, and the mythology of the American dream. She died on September 1, 2022, at her home in Alexandria, Virginia, at the age of 81, mourned as one of the sharpest, most honest, and most humane voices in American public life. Louise Fletcher was born on July 22, 1934, in Birmingham, Alabama. In one of the most chilling and indelible performances in cinema history, she won the Academy Award for Best Actress for her portrayal of the terrifying Nurse Ratched in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, a character so iconic she later became the subject of her own Netflix prequel series. Fletcher was also a passionate advocate for the deaf community, having been raised by deaf parents. She died on September 23, 2022, at her home in Monteros, France, at the age of 88, from natural causes, remembered as one of the screen's most formidable villains and finest actresses. David Crosby was born on August 14, 1941, in Los Angeles, California. A founding member of both the Byrds and Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young, Crosby was one of the defining voices of the folk rock and counterculture movements of the 1960s and 70s, and helped usher in the era of intricate vocal harmonies that would shape American popular music for decades. His songwriting, including Guinevere and Almost Cut My Hair, was visionary, poetic, and deeply personal. He died on January 18, 2023, at his home in Santa Ynez, California, at the age of 81, from heart disease. remembered as a restless musical soul who never stopped searching for a higher note. Christine McVie was born Christine Ann Perfect on July 12, 1943, in Booth, England, and became an essential heartbeat of one of rock music's greatest bands. As keyboardist and vocalist for Fleetwood Mac, she wrote and sang some of the band's most beloved songs, including Little Lies, Everywhere, You Make Loving Fun, and Say You Love Me, earning her a permanent place in rock royalty. She died on November 30th, 2022, at a hospital in England at the age of 79, following a brief illness, mourned across the world as an irreplaceable musical voice. Meatloaf was born Marvin Lee Aday on September 27, 1947, in Dallas, Texas. An impossibly theatrical and passionate rock performer, he achieved one of the best-selling albums in music history with Bat Out of Hell, a bombastic masterpiece that has sold nearly 50 million copies worldwide. With his powerful voice and operatic stage presence, Meatloaf turned rock and roll into pure cinematic spectacle. He also appeared in the cult classic film, The Rocky Horror Picture Show. He died on January 20th, 2022, at the age of 74 in Nashville, Tennessee, from COVID-19 complications, remembered as one of rock's most uniquely thrilling performers. Loretta Lynn was born on April 14, 1932, in Butcher Hollow, Kentucky. Country music's coal miner's daughter, she rose from the most humble of beginnings to become one of the genre's greatest stars, recording iconic songs like You Ain't Woman Enough, Coal Miner's Daughter, and Don't Come Home a-Drinkin'. Lynn was a fiercely independent voice who pushed boundaries in a male-dominated industry, and her life story was immortalized in a beloved Academy Award-winning film. She passed away on October 4, 2022, at her home in Hurricane Mills, Tennessee, at the age of 90, leaving behind a legacy as vast and enduring as the Kentucky hills she came from. Mike Nichols was born Mikhail Igor Peszkowski on November 6, 1931, in Berlin, Germany. One of the most celebrated directors in the history of American entertainment, he is one of the rare EGOT winners, having won Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony Awards, and directed landmark films including Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, The Graduate, Silkwood, and The Birdcage. Nichols brought elegance, wit, and piercing human insight to every project he touched. He passed away on November 19, 2014, in New York City, at the age of 83, from a heart attack, remembered as a director of extraordinary intellect and grace. Vin Scully was born on November 29, 1927, in the Bronx, New York. While not an actor, his voice was one of the most beloved sounds in American life for 67 years as the legendary play-by-play announcer for the Los Angeles Dodgers. Scully elevated sports broadcasting to the level of poetry, weaving storytelling and history into his calls with unmatched warmth and craftsmanship. His call of Sandy Koufax's perfect game and Kirk Gibson's 1988 World Series home run are etched permanently into American cultural memory. He died on August 2, 2022, at his home in Hidden Hills, California, at the age of 94, mourned by millions as the voice of summer itself. Gordon Lightfoot was born on November 17, 1938, in Orillia, Ontario, Canada. One of the greatest singer-songwriters in the history of folk and country music, he crafted an extraordinary catalog of deeply personal, story-rich songs, including The Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald, Sundown, If You Could Read My Mind, and Carefree Highway, that made him not only Canada's most beloved musical poet, but a lasting influence on artists from Bob Dylan to Elvis Presley. He died on May 1, 2023, in Toronto, Ontario, at the age of 84, from organ failure, celebrated across Canada and the world as a master storyteller whose songs will endure for generations. Bob Rafelson was born on February 21, 1933, in New York City. A pioneering director of the New Hollywood movement, he helped launch Jack Nicholson to stardom with the critically acclaimed 5 Easy Pieces, a film that became a defining text of American independent cinema. Rafelson co-founded BBS Productions, a company that reshaped how films were made and distributed in the early 1970s. He died on July 23, 2022, at his home in Aspen, Colorado, at the age of 89, from congestive heart failure, remembered as one of the quiet but essential architects of modern American film. Roberta Flack was born on February 10, 1937, in Black Mountain, North Carolina. One of the most soulful and distinctive voices in the history of American music, she enchanted the world with her hauntingly beautiful recordings of "Killing Me Softly with His Song," "The First Time Ever I Saw Your Face," and "Feel Like Makin' Love," each a masterclass in emotional restraint and vocal grace. Flack won 4 Grammy Awards, and her music became the soundtrack to a generation's most intimate moments. She passed away on February 24, 2025, at the age of 88, in New York City, mourned as one of the most tender and transcendent voices soul music ever produced. Dabney Coleman was born on January 3, 1932, in Austin, Texas. A master of playing pompous, blustery, lovably obnoxious characters, he became a beloved fixture of 1980s Hollywood with standout roles in 9 to 5, Tootsie, War Games, and the acclaimed television series Buffalo Bill, for which he earned Golden Globe and Emmy nominations. Coleman's gift for comedic villainy was unmatched, and he remained an active and respected performer well into his later years. He died on May 16, 2024, at the age of 92 in Los Angeles, California, leaving behind a career that was as entertaining as it was enduring. Richard Belzer was born on August 4, 1944, in Bridgeport, Connecticut. A sharp and fearless stand-up comedian who transformed himself into one of television's most iconic detectives, he played the wisecracking detective John Munch on Homicide, Life on the Street, and later Law and Order, SVU, setting a record as the only character in television history to appear in the same role across 10 different series. He died on February 19, 2023, at his home in Belvez, France, at the age of 78, remembered with great affection as a comic truth-teller who wore a badge better than anyone. Bernard Shaw was born on May 22, 1940, in Chicago, Illinois. CNN's chief anchor for 2 decades and one of America's most pioneering black broadcast journalists, he became permanently embedded in history on January 16, 1991, when he calmly reported the beginning of the Gulf War live from the Al Rashid Hotel in Baghdad as missiles exploded around him, one of the most extraordinary moments in the history of broadcast journalism. His composure under fire became a symbol of what reporting at its finest could look like. He died on September 7, 2022, in Washington, D.C., at the age of 82, remembered as a journalist of immense dignity, courage, and grace. And there you have it, 55 celebrity legends who passed away recently. But have you ever looked at a music mogul's or a Hollywood icon and wondered what their final years were really like behind closed doors? From shocking health battles kept hidden from the public to untold stories of their last days that their teams never wanted revealed, some of these legends were carrying secrets the world never knew about. Click the video on screen to find out more. Also check out our entire playlist for more content. If not interested, YouTube will recommend a video you might like. Please do check that out and let us know your thoughts in the comments. Until next time.